African American firsts. Martin Delany was an abolitionist, journalist, physician, soldier, writer, and the first proponent of black nationalism. Patrick Francis Healy was an American Catholic priest and Jesuit who was an influential president of Georgetown University, becoming known as its second founder. Pierre Caliste Landry was born into slavery and went on to become an attorney, Methodist, Episcopal minister, mayor, newspaper editor, and state legislator in Louisiana. John Willis Menard was a federal government employee, poet, newspaper publisher, and politician, born in Kaskaskia, Illinois. Fannie Jackson Coppin was an American educator, missionary, and lifelong advocate for female higher education. Thomas Mundy Peterson was the first African American to vote in an election under the 15th Amendment to the United States Constitution, granting voting rights regardless of race. Michael Augustine Healy was an American career officer with the United States Revenue Cutter Service, reaching the rank of captain. Moses Fleetwood Walker was an American professional baseball catcher who, historically, was credited with being the first black man to play in Major League Baseball, MLB. Samuel Jesse Battle was the first African American police officer in New York City. Webb Du Bois was an American sociologist, socialist, historian, and Pan-Africanist, civil rights activist born in Great Barrington. Booker T. Washington was from the last generation of black American leaders born into slavery and became the leading voice of the former slaves and their descendants. Harry Haskell Lew was the first African American professional basketball player. Charles W. Follis was the first African American professional American football player. Joe Gans was the first African American lightweight boxing champion. George Coleman Poage was the first African American to participate in the Olympic Games and the first to win a medal. Jack Arthur Johnson, nicknamed the Galveston Giant, was a boxer who at the height of the Jim Crow era became the first African American world heavyweight boxing champion and is widely regarded as one of the most influential boxers in history. Madam C. J. Walker was the first African American female millionaire. Nat King Cole was the first African American solo singer to have the #1 hit on Billboard charts, known for his single, Mona Lisa. Martin Luther King Jr. was the first African American named as Time Magazine's Man of the Year. Max Robinson Jr. was the first African American broadcasting network news anchor.
President Carter said today inflation and energy problems have reached the crisis stage.
Carol Moseley Braun was the first African American woman elected to the U.S. Senate. Franklin Delano Raines was the first African American CEO of a Fortune 500 company, Fannie Mae. Robert Louis Johnson was the first African American billionaire, founder of Black Entertainment Television. Barack Hussein Obama was the first African American president of the United States. Timothy Eugene Scott was the first African American senator to be elected in the South since Reconstruction, elected in South Carolina.